I got a question. How many followers would it take? For how many followers do we need to have for us to agree to get a RunTok Live tattoo in Chicago?
Like 1 million?
That's
All
what I
right.
was thinking. Yeah.
I would 100% commit to getting a RunTok Live tattoo, as long as I get to choose the location on my body.
I would 100% be there to support you.
I was about to say, I will.
I'll take one
Buy
for the
the
team.
snacks.
I'll take one for the team. This is my commitment. And I'm saying it right now. We can keep it on here. We don't have to edit this out. 1,000 followers. I'll get a RunTok Live tattoo in Chicago.
What happens when three runners
From different parts of the country,
with different running stories,
all get together?
pure.
RunTok.
madness,
So listen in as we talk about all things running related.
and some things that maybe aren't running related.
As it's bound to be a good time. This is
Run Talk
Talk
Live. Welcome to another episode of Run Talk Live. How are y'all doing this week?
We are melting, man. Melting.
That is
Oh my
for
gosh.
sure. That's
I-
the worst part about doing fall marathons is training in the summertime.
And I want to talk to somebody or anybody that says, "Oh, summer heat brings fall PRs." Okay, well, you got to survive the summer to get to the fall, so you're not helping.
You guys know I've said it all along. I always say I much prefer running in the winter than I do to the summer. So this is a big reason why. It's the reason why.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be a hypocrite because I know I've said it on this podcast before. I know I've said it on TikTok before. I've said, "Oh, I love summertime running. I love summer. I love the heat. Blah blah blah." There's that part of me outside of running. I still prefer the heat over winter. But now, like this is the hottest I've ever been in running temperatures, like ever. I do not feel that way anymore. I'm like, man, I want to go to Chicago right now where it's still hot up there, but cooler than it is here. Like, I want to go, like, take me to Canada. Like, take me somewhere right now where I don't have to worry about the temperature today.
Jake,
Well,
do
I
I
mean,
have a solution for you? Do you have like a cryotherapy place in
We,
Florida?
we do. They actually just built one right down the street from us.
Just hop in there, man.
Yeah, I could. That costs money. Um, I mean, you guys should see my garage. I have it equipped now. I mean, my treadmill has a fan that blows on me. I went out to Home Depot and I bought a power shop van. Like it's a super powerful van. I turned that bad boy on. I'll leave the garage door open, the door from my house to the garage open so we get some AC into the garage. Like it's brutal here in Florida. I could like the humidity here and the bugs here right now are just insane. They're in like you're gonna swallow bugs on every run you do. It's just gonna happen no matter what.
Yeah.
And Chase is sitting there going, I told him. I
I did. Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for him. Like
I, yep. I've been saying it for a long time. You guys have argued with me plenty and dude, I was the same way probably, up until a few years ago. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago before I was just like, man, this sucks. This is awful. Even trying to wake up early in the morning, it's still like Monday morning. So I put off my long run, or I actually didn't get my long run done this week. So full disclosure, I wussed out of my long run. I had 18 miles on the calendar Sunday. Some things came up Sunday, didn't get it in. Long story short, I was like, I'll just push it off till Monday morning. We're actually not running production at my work this week, so I could afford to go in a little bit late. So I was like, I'll just do my long run Monday morning. And I woke up Monday morning, and I can always tell how the weather's going to be based off, that first time that I take the dog out in the morning. And as soon as I walked out onto that back porch to take the dog out, I was immediately like gasping for air. I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, the sign of humidity is how quick do my glasses fog up when I walk out the front door. And if it's instant, then it's 100% humidity, which we get. Like, people will sarcastically say 100% humidity. In Florida, you really get 100% humidity I would say on a weekly basis. At 1 or 2 days a week, it's 100% humidity. That's the brutal part. The heat, like Texas gets hotter, Carolyn. Like you were talking about 100-digit
Yep.
weather. Like you guys definitely get hotter, but our humidity and then the bugs. It's the bugs are so irritating here. Do you guys ever get those horsefly, like those giant horseflies where you're at? And those giant horseflies attach themselves to you. So when you're running, it's like they're bonded to you, and they won't leave you alone your entire run. And they're huge, and they don't die. You can hit them as many times as you want. They just come back. We got a lot of those here.
Thankfully, that was a problem I do not have to deal with too much.
I would have figured you, Chase, would have that problem more because you're more between me and Carolyn. You're more like you have some more country like scene to you. I feel like again, I've never been to where you are. Just based on what you described, I felt like you'd have more of like a horsefly mosquito kind of issue there.
I think I've always been pretty fortunate on the mosquito front for whatever reason. Mosquitoes love my wife. They don't necessarily they don't bother me too much.
Well, now that you said that, tomorrow you just wait.
Jinx the crap out of myself. Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I told you guys about my weekend. We're 13 weeks away from Chicago. How's your training going?
Yeah, you go, Carolyn.
But it's interesting. So I think as runners, we're way hard on ourselves for like missing a run or not getting every run in. And then I've had people be like, "Oh, your training's going extremely well." And I'm like, "Well, I'm glad you think so." But I mean, I did a half this weekend and it helped with my confidence, but I still feel like I'm way behind. So
I know what you mean there. Like I was actually reading over a post, Steve Magnus, I think, on Twitter.
I love him.
So he had a post going, and I do too. So before I get into this, I want to make that clear. He's very good, but this post was about like being kind and picking people up and supporting people whenever they're not really doing good, instead of like yelling at them. He was specifically referring to like coaches, I think, more than anything. But honestly, I'm kind of the outlier there. I don't get motivated by that type of thing. Like you said, Carolyn, too many people come to me and they're just like, "Oh, but you did so good. Oh, but you did a good job." And I just don't, and I'm thankful for it. Don't get me wrong. Like I appreciate the sentiment, but I don't respond to that. Like that doesn't motivate me. I need somebody to yell in my face like a drill sergeant and call me a pussy when I'm being a pussy, and that's and sorry for my language there if you're offended by that, but like that's what I respond to, right? And that's me personally, and everybody's a little bit different in that matter. But like I need somebody. If somebody was up at 4:00 in the morning Monday when I was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to do this long run," and somebody was up and he was like, "Dude, get your ass out that door already and quit being a wuss," and I would have probably gone and ran, but I didn't have that person.
No, so I'm glad you brought that up, Chase, because I'm 100% that person too. I need that, like, just not straight to the point. Don't beat around the bush. Like, dude, like someone that, and I don't mean to curse, but someone that will just say, "Dude, you effed up. No big deal. Fucking get out there and do it again." Like, just do it. And I'll use Gate River, the 15K, as an example, where I got to the bridge like 8 miles into this race, and I started walking up the bridge. And this random guy, I've never met this guy before, starts running up next to me. He literally grabs me by the arm and he goes, "Let's fucking go," and just drags me up the bridge. I'm like, dude, I mean, I appreciate that though. I was like, that's what I want. Like, I want that kind of motivator. And then this weekend, I did a mile race on Saturday in the dead of heat. 13 people did not show up to this race. They were supposed to do this Masters Mile race. That's how hot it was. 102 degrees. It was miserable. And almost 100% humidity, Carolyn. I did this race, and this kid, Elijah, I say kid because he's 19 or 20. He raced in his division, and he won it. And then it was my turn to race in the Masters division. And that fourth lap, he started running the lap with me on the turf. And he's just yelling in my ear the entire time, cussing at me, telling me to hurry up, telling me I'm going to kick the you know what, out of the person behind me. He didn't care that person hurt him. And I loved it. Like, I was deaf in my ear for about 30 minutes afterwards, but that's my motivation. Like, give me that. And it sounds like you're the same way, Chase.
Yeah, that's how my high school cross country track coach was like that. And I mean, his son was 2 years ahead of me in high school, and he wasn't nearly as rough on me as he was on him. But he knew what, not just me, but his own son responded to, because he wasn't like that with everybody. He just knew his athletes so well that he knew how each one responded, and he was just really good. He knew all the right things to say to get it out of me at the right time.
Did I tell y'all that my alarm used to be David Goggins?
Yeah, we just talked about that last.
Okay, yeah, and it worked.
Yeah,
Like, you try saying no to David Goggins as he's yelling at you. Try it.
Sure, yeah. And again, Steve Magnus is a great follow on all platforms. Definitely not dissing him whatsoever. But I sometimes, as a running community, and I know that on social media especially, we're not there in the moment that we're running, so it's a little bit different. But we're almost just so kind to each other that it doesn't really do me a whole lot of good. Sometimes I just want somebody to be like, dude, just be an a-hole already, okay? Just tell me that I screwed up. Tell me that I wasn't good enough, so I'll get my ass out there and do it.
Yep. Well, and I think this is where, so you guys know I'm a coach, right? Like, as a side gig. And I don't think I could coach a team. Like, I've done an assistant coach for a team before, but being a private coach is very, very easy, which is what I am. I'm a private coach. I can analyze how each particular athlete responds to coaching, and then I can adjust my coaching to that individual athlete. When you're coaching a team, a cross country team especially, right? Because they run as a team for the most part. It's harder because you have 15 people on that team. Maybe 10 of them respond to the type of coaching that we like, Chase, but maybe 5 of them don't. But it's hard to spread that out and individually coach them, because it's technically a team sport, even though it's running, right? Same thing with basketball, football, etc. But we're talking running, and you're right. Not every athlete, not every runner is going to respond to the same style of coaching. So, yeah, I respect coaches, but I wouldn't want to be in their shoes either. I like the private coaching scene for sure. I don't know. Carolyn, what are your thoughts? Well, how do you respond, Carolyn? You need to get motivated. You're 21 miles into your marathon. You're feeling like you're not there. What's going to motivate you to do that last 5 miles?
So when I was running Chicago last year, I had a friend that would randomly sing to me just to get me out of my head. And then for the listener who hasn't done Chicago, if you've done it, you know that from mile 21 to 24, it's an out and back. So as you hit mile 21, you're seeing people come back the opposite way, hitting mile 24. And that just gives you so much motivation, because you're like, what the crap? I want to be on the other side of that. So that's a little toxic area of the course. But no, I do respond to somebody getting on to me. like my coach, if I do a threshold workout or something too fast, she's like, okay, next time stick to the pace. So that helps too. Because my mom can be a solid cheerleader, but I'm not paying her. I'm not going to really learn any running from her. So my new coach has just been on my butt, and it's been great. And it's like I don't want to disappoint her at that point. So I mean, it always helps that she's looking at my workouts, she's looking at my data. So
Well, Carolyn, here's a promise that I'll make to you right now. I'm saying this live on our podcast. If for some reason some injury happens or I'm sick or some reason I can't run Chicago Marathon to my full ability, I vow that I will still run the marathon side by side with you, and I will sing whatever your little heart desires the entire time. Just give me your playlist. I'll learn the songs. Boys to Men, Backstreet Boys, whatever you want. I'll sing it to you, okay?
I appreciate that, but you're not getting injured.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't want to be injured. And that goes back to, so Chase, this all started when you were asking, how's our training going?
Yeah.
I've been sick, and it sucks. So I wanted to ask you guys a question. And there's different scientific articles and beliefs around this. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts and beliefs are. Do you run when you are sick? And do you think it's beneficial or it's the opposite, not beneficial to run when you're sick? Who wants to start?
Jace, go first because I have a dumb answer.
I probably do too. You know, I'm just what I was talking about earlier. Just don't be a pussy. Get out there and do it. No, I mean, I think it does come down to being smart. You know, you do have to be smart. I've ran sick before, and then I've also taken a break from being sick before. So it just kind of comes down to, you know, what you're feeling and how you're feeling, and obviously what the doctor says if you go see a doctor, and they actually know anything. But
all right, Carolyn, what's your quote unquote dumb answer?
So back in 2020 when I had COVID, I had my run streak going, and I decided, yeah, I'm gonna run through it. So I've run through COVID. I've run through sickness, whether it's, you know, cold, flu, COVID, injury in COVID. So I'm one of those idiots where if there's a mile on my schedule, I'm gonna try and run it. Not the smartest, but and I think I know what the scientific research you're talking about is. If it's neck up, you should be okay to run. If it's neck down, take a break.
Well, so there's that. And then there's just the facts of what happens when you run. So, especially like longer runs. So, when you run, your like after that run, your immune system is actually it goes down. You're more susceptible to getting sick for a short period after that run. Now, what that short period is, I don't know. I don't know what that is. But then after that short period lapses, it goes up and your immune system actually builds up. It gets a little bit stronger than what it was before that run. So there's that period of weakness, right? Your vulnerable point where if you're going to get sick during that period, it's going to attack you pretty hard because your immune system is even lower than what it was. So my belief, and again, this is the part I don't know, is if you are starting to get sick, I don't know if it's the smartest thing to go for the run because you're going to weaken your immune system for a little bit, and that starting to get sick is going to turn into a much bigger thing much sooner. Again, I think that's what will happen. But if you're at the tail end of your sickness, to me, it makes sense that you should still be able to, like I am. I ran today. You know, I've been sick for a couple of days, but now I'm on the end, like I'm getting better. So I ran today, but I think it would be okay at that point. So again, this is all just my theory. I have no idea about it, but it's how my body, especially as I've gotten older, it's kind of led me to those beliefs because that's how it's happened for me, essentially. So I don't know.
I'm kind of a like prideful person too. Like, so if I'm sick to the point, so when I had COVID earlier this year, to my knowledge, it's the only time I've ever had COVID. I did not run because I couldn't go to work. Now I wasn't not going to work because I felt sick. I was not going to work because I was told by a doctor that I could not go to work. So it didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel right to me to get out and run if I couldn't go to work. So that kind of affected my decision too. Now, if I'm going to work sick, then I'm probably going to run sick. So probably not the
Well, it's
smartest
funny.
thing there, but hey.
Well, it's funny now, and I rarely call in sick, partly because I work remotely. So even if I am sick, I still work. but now, my boss, if he's listening, hey, how's it going, Darren? Uh, um, my boss, he does Ironmans and he does ultras. Um, and so as of a few days ago, he started following me on Strava. So now I really can't call in sick and then go
And
for
then
a
go
run.
run. It's
So
gonna be
he's gonna know.
what's going on? I don't have that problem. I just can't. I gotta make sure I don't share it to any of the social platforms. Strava's okay, but I don't think I can get away with it anywhere else.
Yeah, I had the luxury. I love my boss, and I love that he's an athlete and he does ultras and he's an Ironman and he's into that stuff. So we click on that level and we could joke about it. Like I feel comfortable joking about it now, knowing he might hear what I'm saying. But at the same time, it is also kind of funny that my boss will know like if I'm running on my off day or my sick day or whatever, or if I'm late to work one morning, but he sees that I went for a run at 8:03 in the morning. All right, you got me.
I feel like there needs to be some like clause put in your contract now and be like there. I mean, if you follow me on Strava, you can't judge. If I come in 10 minutes late, just look the other way. Like there gotta be some kind of understanding now.
No, there's been times um, where with coworkers, not and again, my boss just started following me, but I'll be on a video, meeting, and they'll be like, "Oh, why aren't you on camera?" I'm like, "Because I just finished a run and I'm a sweaty hot mess right now. Like, you don't want to see this."
I mean, as long as you're getting your work done, I feel like it shouldn't be a huge issue.
Yeah, and I do, and I have a stressful job, and my boss knows it, and his working out is his elixir, just like my running is my elixir, and we have that understanding with each other. So it's good stuff. I don't remember what we were talking about to lead to this, guys, but yeah, my belief is don't run when you are starting to get sick, but it's okay to run on the tail end of your sickness. That's where I was going with that.
I would
And I have no
concur.
scientific evidence that that's right.
You have a sample size of 1. What do you mean there's no scientific evidence?
Yeah, well, I'm also the same guy in my 30s, 100%. I was like, I don't care if you're sick, if you're bleeding out of your eyeballs, go for a run. Like, just do it. Now I'm just like,
And
eh.
did you ever die from running sick? No. Okay, so
Okay, listen, a guy died from running a marathon, and look where we are now. So,
Did you guys see? I don't know if you follow me. My title on my latest Strava thing says, "But did you die?" Like that was the title of my run on Sunday because it was so brutally hot and I felt like I was going to die.
you know what's fun is my long run, the last 2 miles, I decided to add in rolling hills, and they weren't cute hills. They were like the big, massive, like 50 to 100-foot hills. You really play
Cute.
yourself out there, man. In Chicago, like the only hills are the bridges, and
Yeah,
have
well, that's how it is here in Florida. It's only bridges here, so I get to train in similar terrain, which is nice. Just not similar weather.
I mean,
I
I
don't
guess
know.
I've got
So
hills too.
so you guys will be a little bit jealous. I talk about my high school team, the high school team that's here in Fleming Island, and they're a pretty high level team. Well, they went out to Utah for a running camp, and I'm gonna have to bring it up here. They got to meet a few people, a few names that you might recognize here. They
From
met
Utah.
Connor Mantz and
Yep.
Clayton Young.
Fred, man.
Yep,
Yeah.
the coach got connected with them on Instagram and set up a meeting with them, and so they ran with them. They met the BYU team or the one of the teams that's out there, and then the Bowerman Running Club was out there training, so they got to run with them. But yeah, this was cool. Connor Mantz and Clayton Young, like literally just sitting there talking to them in a circle, like pretty dope. I'm a little jealous. And here's the hard part: Coach Dave Allen invited me to come out there and be a chaperone for this camp, and I turned it down. And now I'm
Why?
like, well, you didn't tell me that you were going to have these guys there, Dave. Come on.
So, I forget. I think both Clayton and Connor have public Stravas, and you can see because one of them always rabbits for the other one day. So, like, if Clayton's having a good day, he'll rabbit for Connor and vice versa. So, I'm sure that was such a fun experience.
Yeah, they also got to meet Craig Engels, long before we met him. Craig Engels came and did a guest speaking event with them. They've gotten to meet some runners at this camp that they do every summer. And what's really cool about it is the coach, for the most part, pays for this camp out of his own money and gets them to go out there.
All right, well, chaperone next year, my man, because they'll be, Connor and Clayton, who knows what they'll be training for, maybe a world championship, but
say world probably.
Yeah, but they'll probably both have Olympic medals that they can talk about and experience from the Olympics. So,
well, what's funny, you brought up your coaching style, Chase, what you prefer for motivation. I go to their morning runs every once in a while, and I'll run with these guys. And I was there the week before they were going to this camp, and Dave did his little speech, before, as we were all doing our stretches, and because he can't bring the whole team out there. He has a big team. He has almost 40 people, and he brings, I think, 20 of them out there for cross country. And he basically said, he goes, you guys know the routine. If you come here, you show up, you don't complain, you put in the work, you were the first one here, the last one to leave, basically all that stuff. He goes, you're the ones that are going to this camp. And he was brutally honest with them, and I actually love that. Like, put in the work, I'll reward you.
Yeah, I think that's something that gets lost a little bit these days. You got to put in the work for anything that's worth having, and that's good to hear of good role models like that.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely was. It was pretty inspiring to see. So, and like I said, he does this. He doesn't get paid to be a coach. He gets like a small little stipend. I'm sure, something like that. He gets access, to facilities, which is always nice. But he's doing this because he loves the sport of running, and it shows because the team here has flourished under his coaching. That's a guest we should talk about getting on here one of these days. Let's get Coach Dave
That
Allen
would be
here.
a good one. Yeah, totally.
he can be my new alarm. Okay, David Goggins was like yesterday. I need a new one.
Get up, show up, do the work.
Yeah, or he
First
could just
one here,
literally
last one to leave.
me. Yeah, just like screech for a good 10 seconds, and I'll be up.
Can I share a slightly embarrassing story / dream that I had that was running related that kind of has to do with this? All right. So I don't want to reference movies. I know we talk about movies, but I just have to ask you: have you guys seen the movie Boss Baby before?
I don't remember it too well, but I know I watched it.
So he has an alarm clock in this movie that is the wizard from Lord of the Rings, the good wizard, Gandalf, I think his name is, right? And Gandalf has like a very...
You shall not.
Yep. So in my dream, I am running a race. And I don't know what race it is. And this guy comes running up next to me. And then I just scream that from the top of my lungs. You shall not pass. And I start running. I don't know if I won or not, because that was the only part of my dream that I remember. But it worked. So I think I'm going to try that in a race in real life and just see what happens.
Just do it. Yeah, do it like the last 10 feet.
I'm
And just
just going to sprint past it. It's going to be my finish line photo. I'm going to carry an elixir with me. It's or a staff, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's happening. Maybe a Halloween race, where you're allowed to dress up, or a Disney race where it's normal.
But Lord of the Rings is Warner Brothers, right?
Well, I could be the wizard from The Sword and the Stone.
Yeah, I guess you could. Or you could be, yeah. Sword and Stone.
Or what's that Nicolas Cage one where he was the Sorcerer's Apprentice?
The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Oh, dang it. We got on movies again. You guys, I watched that Nicolas Cage movie the other night where he plays himself. What's it called?
I know it's a long title.
Yeah, something about being brilliant or something like that. Anyway, oh man, that was a really good movie.
It looks funny.
Yeah.
They have Nicolas Cage drinking games. So it's like you wait until Nicolas Cage comes on the screen and you chug, because he's never like on the screen for super long. He's always in and out. So you just chug when you see him, stop when he goes off the screen, and it just...
It's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Yeah. No, it was really good. You should definitely check that one out. It's like he gets in a car with the guy. The guy's like, I watched the deleted scenes in Gone in 60 Seconds. You did all your own stunts. You should be able to do this fine. And he's like, you're right, I can. It was really good. Totally. There's my movie recommendation for the week.
The wall climbing scene cracks me up. I just... A lot of good stuff. All right, veering away from movie, we've done good. We went like 2 recordings without referencing movies, so
I think so. Yeah,
it's not horrible. But I brought it up before, and I got to ask you guys. I've been starting to run with headphones more often. Part of that is because it distracts me from how freaking hot it is. That's the main reason why I do it. And so I've been building up my playlist lately, and I'm curious what you guys are rocking out to. Like, what's some top music you're rocking out to, either on the treadmill, Carolyn, or on the pass, wherever you are?
Yeah. So usually I will listen to podcasts or audiobooks. And the podcasts I listen to are like the trashy ones, like reality TV, or if it's an audiobook, it's always like beach reads, so I just escape. Let's see. But today, when I did my easy run, I was listening to Usher, Robin Thicke, Flo Rida,
Okay.
Mariah Carey. Who else? Fergie. Okay, glamorous.
You know what's unique about all this is none of those are I'm proud of you, because none of those are your generation of music, right? That's my generation of music.
What do you mean? Listen, Flo Rida was mine. Nicki Minaj. It's like middle school for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you those were like in your 30s, Jake. Like you had to be like 30 years old when those songs came out. I don't think that qualifies as your generation.
Oh yeah.
No, Mariah Carey, Usher. I was in high school.
Mariah Carey and Usher. Okay. I was thinking Nicki Minaj and yeah, Mariah Carey, Usher. Yeah, those are definitely.
Fergie was my early years of college. I mean, granted, she was with Black Eyed Peas and not just Fergie at that point, but it was my early years of college.
Black Eyed Peas was when I was in college, so.
So I'm just either way. I like your collection of music. That's not my running music, though. I like that music. I wouldn't run to that music. My,
See,
yeah.
that's music I can dance to, and I try not to think about running when I'm running. So if I can just dance it out, like that's put it on the playlist.
All right, Carolyn, do you know the band Falling in Reverse?
I've heard of them.
All right. Play this song for 5 seconds. See if you can handle it. Falling in Reverse. The song is called Ronald.
Ronald.
Yep. Ronald.
Okay.
It starts really quick.
Okay, first of all, okay. What does the guy have? He has like a tattoo at the top of his
Oh, he's got a
head.
bunch of tattoos.
Okay,
Ronnie,
alrighty.
Ronnie, yeah.
Let's see what we got. Okay.
Let's see if you can last more than 5 seconds. I'll
I
tell you
hope
what,
I
though.
heard that.
Falling
That
in Reverse has got me hooked right now because he is so talented. That song, just so you know, not all of his music was like that. That song, like he starts super heavy, super quick, but then he gets Tech Nine. I don't know if you're into Tech Nine at all as a rapper, but
yeah.
he does a guest appearance in there, which no one knew about. It was a surprise guest appearance. It was real awesome. So, Falling in Reverse has been added to my playlist as of late for a bunch of
Okay,
the
well,
songs.
this is my new alarm because this just literally just like, woo, my heart rate just went way up.
You got her woke
Wait, it's
up.
stick that in your ear for 5 seconds and then go on.
I will go straight out the door. Like, get up and go.
And you gotta watch the music video because it's a movie, like a nonstop, like Terminator 2 style action movie the entire time. It, it's insane. But anyways, it's not for everybody, Caroline. I get that.
Listen, I just connected to it. Okay, I'm recording that crap.
Connected to it so much that it's going to be my alarm now.
Yeah, Chase, you need motivation. That situation, whatever that is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that wouldn't even make it onto my hard rock playlist. Not into the screamo too much.
yeah, and he does more like he did the do you guys remember Papa Roach Cut My Life into Pieces, that song?
Yeah.
So he does a really slow version of that song that's actually really, really good. He's just playing the piano to it the whole time. And that's a good song. So he does a bunch of stuff. And he raps also, Carolyn, like he'll do rap on his songs.
Nice. Okay, well I'll have to check this guy out or this band out.
Yep. And then the other one I've been listening to, that's a really an old band, but it's rap metal again, because you guys know I love like Hollywood Undead. Another similar one is Twisted. I've been listening to Twisted a lot. Tuizted or TID.
Twisted.
And, you know, you look at them, they remind me of Hollywood Undead because they wear the mask and all that stuff as well too. But again, not for everybody, but it pumps me up for running. So that's what I've been rocking out to lately. And Eminem. We just talked about that before we started recording. The new Eminem album that apparently is causing controversy between generations right now. The Gen Z versus I don't even know what generation I'm considered.
It's hilarious to me how people just get so offended so easily. And I don't know that I'm not saying it's a generational thing, and maybe it's just me getting older thing. I'm not sure. But, like, I mean, this is how Eminem's always been. And you could say the same thing about stand-up comedy. It is what it is, and you hit certain points, and if you don't like it, don't listen to it. But you know, you can't argue that the guy just spits crazy rhymes. His songs are super catchy, and until you really sit down and listen to the lyrics, you're like, oh, yeah, he just said that. You know, like, what is it? Without Me. I mean, that has got to be one of my top. It's definitely on my all-time running playlist, and it has got to be one of the, if not the most offensive song ever. But it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yep. Yeah, and I feel the same way. When I first started listening to Eminem, it was more about the beat. Like it was just so catchy. I just loved the beat to it, and I just loved the way he sounded. Like he sounded different. His voice sounded different.
Yeah.
But I never really paid attention to the words until I got a little bit older, and then I was almost respected the words. Like I wasn't offended. I've never been offended by Eminem. Do I
Yeah.
agree with the stuff he says? No, but he's got the guts to say some stuff that other people just won't say. I don't know. You're right. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but there are a lot more people that just get offended a lot more easily lately.
Mm-hmm.
I just love his music, man. It's fun to run to it. So
Yeah, and I have kind of a weird take because I love the beat, and I'm one of those people that I don't really pay attention to the lyrics, um, because literally I'm trying to focus on not dying as I breathe. So, and I haven't listened to his new album. I mean, I know that the music from, that when he was Slim Shady, or he may still, I guess it's part of his new album as well, but I love that music.
yeah,
And so, I mean, if it's got a good beat, I'll listen to it. Um, but again, I just don't listen to the words to a lot of songs.
well, one of my favorite Eminem songs also is so I have three Eminem songs on my running playlist here. I have Shake That, Berserk, and Survival. And Shake That, like you listen to the words and you're like, dude, this is so inappropriate in every way. But I love the beat to it so much. Like I'll run stride for stride with that beat because it's got a very heavy rhythmic beat the entire song. But if you're someone that gets offended easily, you're probably not going to want to listen to that song because it's not appropriate. So
Mm-hmm. I just I really enjoy it, and this isn't really about the lyrics, but the way that he just flows.
yep.
He has this way of making words fit together that nobody else could make fit together. And I'll tell you, I do like a lot of his songs, but like some of my favorite Eminem bars are from his guest appearances on different songs, like Glass House with 50 Cent or Forgot About Dre. Like those are like real short 30 seconds of Eminem just going hardcore, and you're just like that. Like I can't even wrap my head around what he just said. Like it was that good.
Yeah, he did a song with Ed Sheeran or Sheeran. I don't know how you say his last name, but he
Pretty
does
sure it's
that.
true.
Yeah, Sheeran. Well, he does one verse in there that's my favorite part of the song is his verse that he does on the song.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So, anyways, Chase, you gonna tell us what's on your running playlist?
Well,
Besides
which
Eminem.
running playlist do you want? Do you want my current running playlist, my punk rock running playlist, my hard rock running playlist, my hip hop running playlist, my guilty pleasure pop running playlist, or my all time running playlist?
Which one do you listen to the most?
Well, probably my current one, because that's kind of like a list of songs that have come out basically in the last year. Anytime a song gets too old, I kind of move it to one of the other playlists. The
Okay.
newest songs on that one right now, probably a lot of stuff that you haven't heard of, but I do
All
have
right.
Harder to Kill by the Dirt Man, Carter Vale. So I talked about that, I think, on an episode or two ago. The guy that sings the Dirt Man song that's popular on TikTok. His
Yeah.
music's actually really good. So if you get a chance, check out Harder to Kill by him. Some of the new stuff from 21 Pilots, some of the new stuff from Bring Me the Horizon, Eminem. I do have the Post Malone and Morgan Wallen song on here. So yeah, just kind of a lot of different stuff.
I think you had a video a while back, Chase, that showcased one of my all-time favorite brands, Coheed and Cambria, and you had some music from them on your video.
Did I?
I remember you talking about like, this is the top of my playlist. This is probably 7-8 months ago. But Coheed and Cambria is a unique band that has a unique sound, especially the lead singer and his voice.
When
But
did their
really, I
last
like the
album
music
come
too.
out? I remember. I think I remember that you're talking about, but I think that was actually like a year or two ago.
Maybe it was. I don't remember. He's the guy where you
Yeah,
look at
yeah, yeah.
him.
Daxis 2. Yeah, yeah. I
Yep.
remember what you're talking about. Yeah, that would
And
have been
he's,
2 years ago.
I don't know if you've heard of Coheed, Coheed and Cambria, but
Mm-mm.
he's a guy where you look at the lead singer and you think he's going to sound one way, and then you hear the song and you're like, "How is that coming out of this guy's mouth?"
And they're one of those bands that tells a story. That's why they really resonate with me. Not their music's really good. I really enjoy listening to them, but they've told a story throughout the anthology of their albums. Like they tell the story inside of this science fiction dystopian future that
Yep.
is just really good. And you don't really it's hard to like connect everything until you like go online and watch their videos. Like if you go onto YouTube and watch a lot of their videos, everything just kind of flows together and you're just like, whoa, I had no idea. But then when you listen to the songs afterwards, you realize a lot of the same names repeat, a lot of the same people. And yeah, Coheed and Cambria is just they're a really good band
Well,
with really creative lyrics.
it's the same thing that NF has been doing. He's been telling a story that's a continuation from album to album, at least with certain songs that are flow as one big giant story, and his evolution, changing as a person. So I same thing. I love NF almost for the same reasons I love Eminem. I love the beat to his music, and then his words. His words resonate more because he's less offensive and more just like being real about his personal his personal life. I don't know. I like NF though.
I tried to get
It's
into
been
him and I
fun.
really couldn't.
No NF. Yeah, they
Yeah,
use.
I listened to you told me to listen to him a while back, probably when we first started the podcast, and I gave him a chance. I did, but it's just I don't know, it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I think that was when the song "The Search" came out, and I was like, "Yeah, you
Possibly,
need
yeah.
to listen to The Search." And then now there's the new one that's called Hope. That's like part 4. The Search is part 3. Hope is part 4, the final part of his, whatever his journey.
Sure. I don't resonate with a lot of modern hip hop right now. Like it's just not I don't really like outside of Eminem, like and maybe Kendrick Lamar. I don't really I can't really get into anybody.
Yep.
That's why I go back to 70s and 80s rock all day. Like give
And that's
me
something that
Chicago.
everybody can just agree on. Like if you listen to 70s and 80s rock, like it's just primo. Like I mean that's one of the only things. Like whenever my wife and I first got together, she was really into country. I was into she likes to call it weird music, but I just listened to bands that aren't as popular. But we could always, whenever we go on a road trip, we'd throw on an 80s playlist or a classic rock
Yeah.
playlist, and we were good.
Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Pearl Jam. Like those were probably my top 3 back in that time frame, I should say.
Led Zeppelin and the Beatles will forever be like in my top 5, like probably in my top 3.
The entire soundtrack to the first Young Guns movie, if you've ever watched Young Guns, that was an awesome soundtrack.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy also has
There you go.
fantastic soundtracks.
Sure, of course.
I'm so
Of
proud of you
course.
for bringing that up, Carolyn.
So I got tattooed to the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. So I am very tied to like all those movies.
Wait, what? You got a tattoo?
No, like when I was getting a tattoo, they were playing the soundtrack.
Oh,
I got to
okay.
sit there for like a good, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes listening to all of the songs, and so
I thought you had me really excited, and I thought you like tattooed on your body some Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack theme,
oh
and I
no,
was about to just bow down to you at that
no,
point.
no, but no. So that's how I got really into those soundtracks, and I went and I just jammed to. I think there's 3 or 4 now.
3.
3, yeah, and just fantastic songs all through.
The first one
I
was
have a
definitely like groundbreaking, but obviously not groundbreaking because it was all classic rock. But at the time, like it introduced different classic rock songs that people hadn't heard in a long time, and I know a lot of people didn't even know that they were classic rock songs. So it was just kind of funny.
Here's I got a question. How many followers would it take? For how many followers do we need to have for us to agree to get a RunTok Live tattoo in Chicago on all 3 of us? How many followers would it take for us to say, "Yep, all right, we'll get a RunTok Live tattoo"?
Like 1 million.
That's
All
what I
right.
was thinking. Yep, a million.
Kayla, do you have a tattoo? I thought, don't you have one?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 5.
Oh, let's see. What's a RunTok Live tattoo gonna do?
1, 2. Yeah, 5.
I don't have any tattoos. Chase, I don't think you do, right? You're tattoo-less. I've always thought about it, just never done it. But
I've
I
been
just thought,
really close before, but I've just seen too many bad ones. That's my hang up. So I'm always afraid. Like I've seen a guy before. I don't know if I've shared this story with you guys before. I had a roommate that worked in a tattoo parlor at one time for a very good tattoo artist who was on like the cover of magazines and like he was really highly touted. But my roommate came home one day with a new tattoo, and this was like the day before I was actually getting ready to go and finally get a tattoo. And my roommate came home and he had a tattoo done by this guy, and it was awful. Like it was just bad. And I was just like, that's it. Nope, never happening. That guy was on the cover of a freaking magazine and he just did that to you. Nope, never doing it. Never doing it.
that's fair. And I don't know why I've never done it because I've always wanted to, just to be fully transparent. I actually like tattoos on people. Um, but I don't know. I've just never done it. Like, but I do have a number, and I would do it. Like, if we got to 1,000 followers, 1,000's all it would take for me by Chicago Marathon. I would 100% commit to getting a RunTok Live tattoo, as long as I get to choose the location on my body.
I would 100% be there to support you.
I was about to say, I will.
I'll take one
buy
for the team.
snacks.
I'll take one for the team. This is my commitment. And I'm saying it right now. We can keep it on here. We don't have to edit this out. 1,000 followers. I'll get a RunTok Live tattoo in Chicago.
All right.
Okay.
I think we
So
found
get to
our
work,
promo
guys.
piece for this episode. When
Taylor,
was
real
that?
quick, what's your
52 minutes.
What shirt are you wearing, Carolyn? What's the finisher
I'm
shirt?
wearing the 2024
Houston.
Houston Marathon finisher t-shirt.
So here's what I love right now. Chase got his alter ego shirt on, alter ego hat. It looks like on running gear. Carolyn's got her finisher Houston Marathon shirt. Meanwhile, I have a Star Wars shirt that just says "Not today." And it's got a passed out, whatever those guys are called. But I do got
It's
my
a
alter
whole
ego
mood,
hat on. Yeah, it's been a busy, crazy day. So, all right, guys. Well, real quick, Chase, did you want to talk about the Spirit Week with Alter Ego and just what's going on with
brought
that?
him up, so I mean
Let's do it.
it is Spirit Week for Alter Ego ambassadors, so that's kind of fun. Different theme every single day. I think it's really cool. I don't know. I know you guys are involved with a couple different brands, Carolyn, notably Brooks, but Spirit Week from Alter Ego is one of the coolest things that I'm involved in as far as running ambassador. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, same thing. You and I both are involved with Alter Ego, and again, I have you to thank for that because you're the one that introduced them to me. I recently just did my first, not first, but my photo for their contest that they have. This one of their contests that they have this week, which is just showcasing all your hats. Um, and this hat is from a contest that I won a couple weeks ago, last month for the challenges. So they do these challenges, every month where you post these social video content, based on themes that they put out there, and they pick 3 winners, and it's a pretty neat thing. So yeah, I love where Alter Ego has been going with their ambassador program. I still, even though I'm not an ambassador for Brooks, and Carolyn, you are, I can still say that Brooks probably has the absolute best, ambassador program that's out there. Yes, I'm saying something nice about Brooks, but it's true, right? But Brooks has also been around for a long time, and they built up their brand and their reputation to where they can afford to do this type of stuff with their ambassador programs. Alter Ego is still a new company. Like, they've been around for a little bit, but they're still new, but they're growing very quick. Like, and they're getting out there. What they're doing all the right things to put themselves out there, and I love it. So there you go. You got your Brooks hype talk from Jake.
Man, I'm pumped.
Mark this moment on the podcast.
Oh, I so will, because Brooks is sending a couple athletes to the Olympics. And it just, even watching the trials, it was awesome seeing so many Brooks singlets. They've been aggressive with signing athletes. So I'm really pumped for, to see how they are in the Olympics.
Which we'll be talking about come our next episode. We'll be doing some Olympic talk.
And if you wanna get yourself some USA swag, Alter Ego's got some pretty cool USA hats right now.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Jake both got promo codes. They'll be down in the description of this, so go check it out.
Yep.
But yeah, Brooks does have a few athletes. I know we talk about him a lot on the show, but Josh Kerr, Jakob Ingebrigtsen just threw it down last weekend.
Yeah,
he threw down the gauntlet. What was it? 26 and change? He was really close. He was less than a half a second off of the world record, I think.
It took over my YouTube feed. That by the end of that night, I was just, the first 7 videos is all Jakob Ingebrigtsen. Man,
there was I think the top 6 in that race was at Monaco, but
yeah,
the top 6 in that race were all 429 or 329 or better. So it was a crazy fast race. I think Nagoose was 4th. So yeah,
let's be clear.
Threw it down.
I think Jakob Ingebrigtsen. It's not. I think it's a matter of when the record gets broken, right? The world record, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna be Kerr or Ingebrigtsen. It's gonna be one of those two that do it. I don't want to put Nagoose in there. I don't know if he's world record level yet. I think they do it before he gets to that point, right? That's what it comes down to. But it's gonna happen. I can't wait to find out when. When is it gonna happen?
Sure. Yeah, and it would be cool if it happened at the Olympics. Distance running, though, it's usually not likely that it happens at the Olympics with distance running, just because the races are so long. They tend to get a little bit more tactful at times. Yep. But we've seen Jakob and Josh Kerr just really take it out in these last couple years. They haven't allowed for a slow tactical kickers race. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I think we're still looking at 4:30 or better, but I don't know if we're going to be looking at the world record in Paris.
Yeah, it becomes when it comes to the Olympics, it always, like you said, it becomes more tactical because it's not about the time; it's about getting the medal and the points for the USA, and
Mm-hmm.
that becomes a top priority. But I think the sponsors have incentives in place in their contracts where if they break the record, at such and such event, like they get this bonus amount of money too. So there is incentive for them to do it if it's on the table.
And somebody else that really threw it down this past week, but she's still second. She's still playing second fiddle, but Femke Bol out of the Netherlands. She became the second woman to ever break 51 seconds in the 400-meter hurdles, right there next to Sydney McLaughlin. And that's the race that a lot of people have been talking about for the last year is Sydney McLaughlin Levrone versus Femke Bol. I still think McLaughlin Levrone, USA. I think she's going to take it because she's broke her own world record twice. But you can't take anything away from Femke Bol. She's definitely a very talented athlete, and if the conditions are right, she could still take the gold medal. Just one little misstep. That's all it takes.
Yep.
And
It'll be fun. We'll have to talk.
Yeah, we'll have to talk more about it. Obviously, Noah Lyles, he's going to be there in the 1 and the 200. I think he's going to take the 200 for sure. I'm not so sure about the 100. He's not a very strong starter. His top end speed is probably comparable to Usain Bolt. Like I would say it's comparable to Usain Bolt, if not faster. But his start out of the blocks, especially in the 100, is just like he always is in the back, and then he just works his way up. And for him to do that over the course of 100 meters is usually pretty impressive to watch.
And then, of course, we got Nico Young. I'm excited to watch him do his thing, too.
In the 5, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I was a little upset about the 10 on the men's side. Did you see that? So third place in the 10,000 meter went to Parker Wolf out of North Carolina. However, he did not have the qualifying standard. So he didn't get to go, and therefore it went to Graham Blanks out of Harvard, who won nationals at NCAA's cross country. But he got 4th, and that just kind of stinks. I think with USA, I know that there's qualifying standards. I get it, but if you finish 3rd at the deciding event, I think you should represent your country. But
yeah,
I don't make the rules, so.
Well, maybe you should, Chase.
I agree. Be a lot more entertaining.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's about our time.
Yep.
Carolyn, you want to sign us off?
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of RunTok Live. You can join our Facebook group at RunTok Live. Follow us and subscribe on Spotify and YouTube at RunTok Live. You can email us at runtalklive@gmail.com. You can find me on TikTok at Carolyn McDuff, on Instagram at Carolyn M. Levinway. Chase, where can people find you?
Chase or No Pacer, pretty much any of the social platforms. Check out my link tree as well as the other twos in the bio of this video. Also, YouTube, our episodes are going to be up on YouTube podcasts now, as well as the full episodes that you can watch on the standard YouTube channel. I'm not 100% sure how YouTube podcasts differs from standard YouTube, but moving forward, you can just go to the YouTube podcast section and search for it there. So, but other than that, just check me out on Insta, TikTok, X, and Facebook, and Threads. I've been using Threads more lately.
Awesome. You can find me on all social media platforms as well, The Cultural Runner. And then don't forget my promise to you guys, 1,000 followers by Chicago. You got 13 weeks. 13 weeks to get us there, and I'll get that. I'll get that tattoo. So, you know what to do.
It's a big number. It's a big number. We'll clip that up and throw it out there.
It's a win-win for me. I either don't have to get a tattoo, or we get 1,000 followers, and it's a win-win.
All
right.
right.
Well, we'll see you in the next episode of RunTok Live.
Deuces.